the most insane woman on paternity court.
You sleeping with him and you were sleeping with him. You don't know which one is your child's father. Were you sleeping with somebody else too?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Think about it. You not disgusted?
I'm not.
Because every time you look over in that direction, you got that look like, oh my goodness.
Animosity can make people do all sorts of things. Yeah, believe it or not, it can even make mothers deny the alleged right to paternity when such a spleen. Set foot, no matter how many miles you go or how much you beg, it's hard to change mommy's mind.
Why is Ms. Miller saying you're not Zaylee's father?
Your Honor, I believe it's just out of pure hatred. She just doesn't want me to have visitation. I drive 160 miles every other weekend just to pick up my daughter and drop her off.
Hate? Is that a really strong word? Would you prefer dislike? Well, no, Mr. Rasmussen. The fact he chose someone else over his ex-fiancée has created a rift between them, and now she wouldn't let her get close to their daughter. Let's see if the Tigerton woman agrees with these claims.
Tell me what you believe to be true in this situation.
Yes, I was very mad at him for being a cheater. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship.
You don't want him to have the visitation, is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is that?
Because I believe that the only reason why he wants the visitation is to claim her on his taxes.
Wait, he is doing his taxes. Does that make sense? It did to mommy, I guess. Still, Judge Lake had a hard time buying it. The money he would get would go into the expenses of seeing his child. Plus, he was already paying child support.
What is this really about for you? Why is it you don't want him involved in this child's life?
Because I still believe that he is not hers.
Okay, and listen, that's what we're here for. I want to get down to the bottom of the truth.
Yeah.
Miss Miller, how she was sure that Mr. Rasmussen was not the biological father because he was playing a full-blown dad. Why would a man do such things if there was an ounce of doubt? The baby mama responded like this.
He was in Vegas, and at that time in March, I wasn't even with him. I was with somebody else because he broke up with me because he cheated on me.
You heard the woman she swindled out of spite, which added another potential father to the mix. Then why was the defendant so steady on being a father? Turns out that he found out recently in the couple's court while fighting over the custody of the baby girl.
People we were talking to with the family court commissioner did the math, and it turns out that would be a 10-month pregnancy, and that don't make sense to me.
Because it was so long ago, I was confused about the dates.
The other father part popped up when they broke up, which raised more suspicion. In addition to that, he was listed as the father on the birth certificate, and the defendant even told them how excited was to see her daughter that he beat his girlfriend to the hospital.
After she was born, he was gone. He ran out of the room. I didn't see him for 20 minutes after that.
I admit I was on my computer, but that was far from it. I had to find a way to calm myself because I was so excited.
Do you dispute, Ms. Miller, that he was excited?
I really didn't see much excitement.
You didn't?
No. I had to wait for my aunt.
What is this woman's problem anyway? It's like she is living in her bubble, so the judge straight up asked her that. Turns out that after getting cheated on multiple times, she just wanted the man out of her life.
All of this is happening, and this man is continuing to step up to the plate, but you know deep down there's another possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why wait so long to tell him?
Exactly my point why so long to tell him. Mrs. Miller defended herself with the same excuse. Oh, more she grew up. Her looks changed, my doubts became clear. Oh, if you had doubts in the first place, why not talk about them?
It's exactly like I did when I was 3 years old. I have a picture of me when I was 3 and a picture of her from just the other day.
Let me see that. Do you see it, Ms. Miller?
Mm-mm.
You don't?
I don't.
You feel like Zaylee looks like the other gentleman you were
Yes.
intimate with.
Suspicion or not, it was evident that Daddy was at the podium and was not ready to give up on his daughter that easily. He wanted the DNA result, so all of the drama would finally be over. But what if it proved otherwise? Will he be able to bear that bombshell?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. Miss Miller.
Be respectful.
Sorry.
Miss Miller.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you or your child.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of nerve.
Cheating on your boyfriend for whom you left your husband. Miss Jackson has been hustling a lot, and now both of her children are in doubt circles, because even though Mr. Levette loved the kids, he couldn't shake off the infidelity part.
I have doubts. And my oldest son looks different from him. He's darker, he's chubby, got
He has a
both
different
legs.
mother. Of course he's gonna
son
look
by
different.
another
He's not gonna be
woman.
twins.
Yeah.
He has a different mother.
Right.
Of course he's gonna
but
look different.
But the stuff that she be doing, it brings the doubts on it.
Okay.
Like, it ain't like you been good.
You right.
Of course, you've been pregnant.
And you ain't either.
Well, the constant infidelity wasn't only on the defendant's part. She even imposed that the man at the podium was just making things up because he couldn't commit to one woman. The woman had all surveillance set up on the Orlando man.
Every time I delete it, I wake up in the morning
And
sometimes.
when you get a new
I see a
phone-
little bird on the top of my phone. Like, what this bird doing?
He's been proven to be not loyal. And buying him, me loving him so much and him loving me so much, and us wanting to be together.
Trust issues are running through this relationship. Next, the plaintiff pointed out that Miss Jackson had too many kids, which show her dealing with different men. And he can never believe a woman like that, which was hard for the baby mama to digest.
Then that same guy ended up sending naked pictures to my phone.
Because you asked him
No,
for
matter
it.
of fact, it was
He
her
was,
phone.
guys.
It was her phone.
He
I was
got in my
talking like
Facebook.
I was talking
He
like I
got
was
in
her.
my
I know that makes no sense. Let me make it simple for you. Miss Jackson lied about a random guy at her house being her cousin. That man used to pop out at her house uninvited, and this added soreness in the relationship.
Leads you to doubt
Yes.
Corey Jr.
Because he's seen
is
another
your
man
child.
cutting my grass.
Was there anything else going on? You can't get pregnant by somebody cutting the grass.
Did Mr. Lovett have any other proof apart from that? Well, there was one when they had broken up, and right after that time, the defendant got pregnant. Quite striking, right? That is exactly how the plaintiff felt too.
You feel like you all broke up and you all were at odds. She started going out with somebody else. Next thing you know, she's pregnant, but then trying to get back with you because you feel like she wanted you to take care of this baby and all of her other children.
That too, and also she's still married, so I wasn't
And my
taking it
divorce
serious
was
in the
pending
beginning.
until I got
So I'm
pregnant.
still not
so now we
taking
got
it serious.
kids in between the marriage. So now we have to take an extra step, get parenting.
Yeah, we must not forget that she was still married to someone else. So no matter how many boyfriends come and go, her husband will have to take care of all the children, which isn't fair. Listen to the hubby himself.
You are Corey Jr.'s biological father?
No, Your Honor. For them two to get themselves together so I could finally have my divorce.
It's holding off both of our life. We both can't get divorced. He has another woman, other kids in between the marriage. I have another man and kids between the marriage. We can't get a divorce because this boy won't sign an affidavit stating that those are his
Y'all should have
kids.
been got a divorce before you met me.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
Before your other baby daddy.
When I met you, it was pending.
They most certainly were in legal limbo. Though the baby mama knew how serious it was, she refused to take all the blame because she was too pretty to be anyone's doormat. Well, no one should be taken as slack. Still running between men like that is not a healthy obsession.
Mr. Lovett is Corey Jr.'s father.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're convinced of.
Oh, yeah.
She can't stay alone, and it shows whether I'm in her life or not. She gonna keep it
It
moving.
ain't my fault I look good.
Yeah, you look good.
You do have trouble being alone.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
do.
not because you're beautiful.
Right.
That's not how you look on the outside, that's how you feel on the inside, babe.
With that mess being addressed, let's not forget that it was kids who were being neglected and taken for granted. That's why there was one way left to know where their future will land. Time to get that envelope.
We have two results today. In the case of Lovett versus Jackson, when it comes to 1-year-old Corey Lovett Jr., Mr. Coleman, you are not his father. Mr. Lovett, you are not his father.
Are you
DNA.
sure? How is that possible?
Do you know who his father is? In the case of Lovett versus Jackson, when it comes to 2-month-old Ariel Lovett, it has been determined by
It seems so unreal. Oh my God.
Mr. Lovett, you are Ariel's father.
Sleep in joy can make you weep in disgust. As you can see in this case, Mr. Boston dragged the defendant into court, saying that he has undeniable proof that there is no possibility of him being the father of this trifling woman. Meanwhile, Ms. Murphy asserted that she is tired of the plaintiff's lies and wanted to stop by conducting a DNA test, moving to the plaintiffs to see to whom the DNA diagnostic will favor.
You say you have undeniable proof that there is no way possible that you are the biological father of the defendant's 10-month-old son, Tristan. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Murphy, you say that you are tired of Mr. Boston's lies.
So the testimony started with Mr. Boston's evidence, and the evidence was invisible. No one could see that because his dynamic words were the solid, undeniable proof. I think something hit his mind. His words do not seem trustworthy as he is just clearly bluffing.
So how long were you in this sexual relationship?
4 months. He was at my house
Sometimes I
every
can't,
night, spending the night
sometimes I
sleeping in the
can't
same
stay over
bed.
there.
You say you used protection the whole time.
Lying. He's
no.
lying.
So why would you lead in this courtroom with a statement that says you gotta have sex to make a baby. Yes, you do, and you did.
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I apologize about that.
Oh my, who on earth is this desperate to be intimate with the girl? Man, you were sleeping with her for 4 months and still did not know her real name? What he is testifying is just crazy, or he is naive.
He rubbed my belly and everything. He was smiling and everything.
She was pregnant. That family member came in the house and told me, well, you know somebody named Teresa? At the time, I didn't know her government name.
You've been sleeping with her for 4 months and don't know her name.
Not even her government name.
You sound about crazy, Mr. Boston.
Bookie.
Thank you.
On the procession of trial, it slipped out that Ms. Murphy was busy with another, but she stated the facts of her being certain regarding the baby's parentage. She told the court that when the baby was conceived, she was with Mr. Boston only.
So why are you convinced that Mr. Boston is the father?
Because for the period of time when I found out I was pregnant, the time adds up. He was the only man that I was.
No, I was
intimate
not.
with.
The court has identified and located another man who says he was intimate with you as well.
To clear up the doubts, Judge Lake summoned Mr. Gregory into the court. He contended that they were sexual buddies, and upon getting news about baby mama's pregnancy, he blew everything off and blocked her instantly. I must say this man has got nerves. After his false actions, he is narrating them proudly.
We've determined that you, in fact, have had a relationship with Ms. Murphy.
A sexual relationship.
Take me back to the day Ms. Murphy told you she was pregnant.
She texted me on Facebook and told me she was pregnant.
You got a message on Facebook that she was potentially pregnant by you and you deleted her? You sleeping with him and you were sleeping with him. You don't know which one is your child's father. Were you sleeping with somebody else too?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Think about it.
However, the witness rolled up to the podium and testified in her best friend's favor. She asserted that she also knows that Mr. Boston is the father, and he is just making up stories to avoid the situation.
Who do you believe is Tristan's biological father?
Mr. Boston.
Was Mr. Boston the only man coming over there within that 4-month period?
When she was saying him, he was the only man. I say like 2 weeks. That's when she started messing with Mr. Gregory.
Okay, that lends credibility to your testimony. Then you say she started talking to Mr. Gregory.
Right.
Things were out of control as the baby mama didn't even know who the baby daddy was. Their non-serious back-and-forth statements made Judge Lake ferocious, and she gave the reality check to these adults like this.
That's your baby. You're responsible if you know you slept with more than one man during the window of conception. It is your responsibility to figure out who that child's father is. And men, you're not off the hook. So don't think just because I am empowering this young woman to understand what she should have done, you all are not off the hook. So before you get so disgusted, you be disgusted with yourselves.
I'm not disgusted at all.
You got a job?
Yeah, I think I got like 2 jobs.
Excellent. I hope this child is yours.
Their ongoing discussion further fuels the whole situation instead of helping to resolve the case. But it was quite evident that they needed to know the results for the baby, and his biological father needed to be a man up. So let's go, get those results, and see what envelope is hiding in it.
Mr. Gregory, you are not his father. The next results read as follows. Mr. Boston, you are not the father. Ms. Murphy, do you know who this child's father is? Thank you for the truth.
It must hurt when you plan something good for someone and they stab you back. In this case, Mr. Wilson wanted to prove to the defendant that he was not the father of her child, while Miss Dean believed otherwise and said he turned his back on her and the baby, and now his denial is hurting them. So to get to the closure, we need a DNA test.
Ms. Dean's 17-month-old daughter, Jakaya, is not your biological child. You say you moved her into your home, laid out the red carpet, only to find out she was rolling around with other men in your home.
The plaintiff said the reason he didn't accept the baby yet and wanted the results. Miss Dean said he was lying and shocked the court with their foolish plans that worked out very badly in the end.
Your Honor, I don't believe I'm the father because I have been fooled by multiple females in the past.
Mr. Wilson, you saying you've been fooled once, you've been fooled twice, but you're not gonna be fooled again.
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilson explained his relationship with the defendant and told the plans they had regarding the baby. By far, the story seems fine until the plaintiff commented about the resemblance of the baby. Yeah, an X popped up.
I had previous relationships with her in the past. I was single, she was single. We decided to meet up. and we met up, and we actually planned the baby. The baby was just not a coincidence. I see the baby, but I don't see me in the baby. I see the ex in the baby. She posted a Facebook picture of the baby with him, and it looks like his baby.
The plaintiff said that he was unsure about the paternity because of the inconsistent lies of Miss Dean, but the defendant denied the accusations and told the events of pregnancy. Well, we are not sure who is a better liar.
Or she used, yeah.
Okay.
It was not consistent as her storytelling.
Why
as
wasn't
the
it?
truth kept coming about, the lies kept adding up to it.
All right,
He
so
is lying,
take me
Your Honor,
to
you
finding
in your face.
Wait, hold on. Miss Dean, when you found out you were pregnant, take me to that day.
I had my period in February.
The judge asked for Mr. Wilson's involvement during the pregnancy and childbirth, and he thoroughly admitted all of his responsibilities. So far, things look good, but where did it go wrong?
So you were there at the birth?
Yes, I was.
Did you go to doctor's appointments for the baby
She
too?
never followed through with it.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
Yes, I did.
So you accepted this baby as your own?
I did.
And at that time when you did that, you believed you were the father?
Didn't have no doubts.
The plaintiff explained the time when things started taking the wrong direction. After the accusations against the defendant, she called him a liar and started crying about her sole responsibilities for the kid. Girl, how can a man support you if you cheat on him?
Well, we're trying to build a relationship while she's pregnant. And in the mix of us building a relationship, she's getting bigger. She's whispering, I hear echoes. She's always in a different room of the apartment. And I'm like, why you never around the kids? Why? She said, I can't talk now because my ex is here.
And he knew exactly what was going on. And with that other guy, he just don't want to take responsibility and be a man and stand up.
Upon being asked about the paternity issue, Mr. Wilson said he didn't have any doubts until he confronted her ex and embarrassed himself by finding out the dirty ways she was playing with him. Well, now she is in trouble.
When I ran into him at the bus stop, I said, this is coincidence. Now I can man up and ask him face to face. What's the story in his end? If it add up to what she's telling me, then I have no doubts. But he said the complete opposite of what she's given me.
The judge then asked the plaintiff why he signed the birth certificate. He shocked the court by sharing Miss Dean's weird behavior when he had the baby to himself for a few days. Now this woman appears crazy.
When the baby was born, it was so light and bright. I was like, he's so dark, she's dark. It's no way he's the father. She said, bring me back my baby. It's not your baby, it's his baby. Ah!
The defendant fought back his claims and shared the reason behind her cold words to Mr. Wilson. In a minute, she threw a heartless accusation at him.
He had the baby trying to take the baby so he can be with someone else. He used me, baby.
She watched too many Lifetime, Your
No,
Honor.
he lied, took the baby, tried to move away. He had the baby in his care. He never took her because I gave her to him.
Now Mr. Wilson's witness stepped in and shared her stance on this confusing story and also recalled Miss Dean's crazy behavior at her home. The defendant's double-sidedness is clearly shown here.
Why are you getting yourself in a situation? We had just lost our father, so he grieved into this baby. She came to my home, looking for my brother with her family, throwing things at my window. Bring me back my baby. That's not his
my baby and wouldn't tell me where y'all was at.
She said, I heard her family said, that's not his baby. Where that baby at? Where that baby at? That's not his baby. How he gonna take a baby that's not his?
The defendant confronted the accusations and repeatedly said that they were lying. Well, now only a DNA test can give the closure they want.
Mr. Wilson, you are not the father.
I apologize for taking you through this, but I am gonna find out who her father is, and I am gonna.
You gotta find out?
No, when I say find
You gotta
out,
find
I'm
out?
gonna bring him on this courtroom like I did you at.
Oh, good luck.